Hi there, I'm Derek.
And I'm Deborah. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Derek.
Hold on. Real quick, before we go any further, I need everybody
Did you just interrupt me?
I did. I need everybody to go ahead and like and subscribe right now to the Derek and Deborah Show.
Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube page. Turn on your notifications so that you know when the show drops, right?
Right.
So we're going to start again.
We can start again.
I'm Deborah Wiggins, and thank you so much for tuning into the Derek and Deborah Show. Was that good?
That was great.
That was good. Derek, let's start right here.
Okay.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you so much.
I hope Taja and those kids made you feel real special for Father's Day.
Well.
Yeah,
actually, every day to me is Father's Day. So every day is Father's Day. My kids always do me right. They always show me love and affection. This year, they were actually on a trip on Father's Day.
Oh, wait a minute. So the kids were gone.
They were gone, but we made up for it earlier today.
But it's okay. That means if the kids were gone, that means you had the opportunity to spend quality time with your lovely wife.
Wonderful.
Yeah. You guys have 3 children, right?
3.
3 children.
Yes.
So question, when the kids were babies, and I'm assuming they were babies, when they were babies, were you the dad that would get up in the middle of the night and change diapers and feed the babies and do that kind of stuff?
Most definitely. I remember having schedules.
Oh.
I know how to do everything from the little warmers that we had.
Oh, wow. The little bottle warmer?
Yeah, I could make the bottles. I was an expert with scooping and changing, all that stuff. We definitely took turns.
Okay.
Something for me personally, fatherhood was always a personal passion for me.
Wow.
Because of just the fact that my dad for years wasn't in my life when I was growing up. And I vowed to myself, I'm going to be that. I'm going to be a different kind of father.
Yeah.
My dad did a great job later on when him and my mom got married later on, coming into my life and doing some great things. But the early childhood days, I did miss some of that. My brother and sister benefited from it, but I didn't get a chance to get that response.
So you guys had a schedule.
Big time.
So you would get up some nights, your wife would get up some nights, that kind of thing.
After she stopped nursing, because I couldn't quite,
Listen, I totally get it. I totally get it.
Can't do that one.
My husband, I don't want to throw him under the bus. I don't want it to seem like I'm throwing him under the bus, but he never got up at night.
Okay.
And he couldn't get up at night because I nursed exclusively. My kids never had bottles.
Wow.
They nursed for a long, long time. Let's just put it that way. And so getting up with the kids at night just wasn't an option because...
a long time. Like 7 years old?
That's nasty.
Okay.
That's nasty.
Just check it on.
Yeah.
I was walking up to my mama.
Well, they were pretty much doing that.
Okay.
I nursed our boys until they were 2.
Okay. That's good. 2 is good.
No, but they were still asking.
But they weren't going to the refrigerator, opening up and getting some water and then come back to my mama.
No, none of that.
Okay.
But I nursed for 2 years.
All right.
And so he couldn't get up at night because I didn't do bottles.
Okay.
And so, and you know what? For me, I think I was a little different. I was really excited about the idea that he was free to do ministry and to take care of the family, and I was a stay-at-home mom, which was like a dream for me.
Gotcha.
And so being able to be at home with the kids, I got up at night. I did most of the diaper changing. He did some of that diaper changing, and I have really cute pictures of him sitting, holding the babies, that kind of thing. So he did that. All of that nice, sweet daddy stuff. But that getting up in the middle of the night was just not something that he could do because I was the bottle.
Now, question for you, because you brought up something. With the middle of the night, you said you was a stay-at-home mom. Do you think that makes a difference?
I definitely think it makes a difference because I have the ability to be able to rest when the babies are resting. And I tell all of my moms that are nursing, when you have a new baby, you need to rest when they're resting. So when the babies are awake, you're awake and you're doing what you need to do. And then when they are asleep, even if it's during the day and you're tired and you need a nap, definitely. But for a mother that has to get up and go back to work, I think that's a different dynamic. I think it's a completely different dynamic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So I recently saw a story, a very interesting story. 2 stories, in fact, but the one I'll start with, this young man was changing his baby, he was squatting inside of a men's restroom with his baby on his lap. And he was squatting, changing the baby's diaper because there wasn't a changing table in the men's bathroom.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that is insensitive to automatically believe that only the women would engage in that part of child development. I was a hands-on father all the time. Like, I wanted to do things. I remember having to go, when I'm changing, sometimes I would have to go out to my car, pull out that little mat in the back seat to make sure that my kids were changed, and then going back inside for different events where I knew that my wife had it very convenient, where they walk in, they just assume that the mother is going to take that responsibility. And it bothers me, it concerns me, because it seems to insinuate that men will not take a part of that part of development with their
Well, now
kids.
there was a generation. Let's just be honest. There was a generation where taking care of the children was something that the woman did.
Agreed.
Men didn't do a whole lot of that.
Agreed.
But we've progressed into a time when men are saying, these are my children too.
Right.
And I want to be able to take care. I clearly remember a young man at our church. I remember the shift because, and I'll just say this. Do you have a changing table in your men's bathroom here? See? Okay, clearly,
Not yet.
right. And I clearly remember we didn't have one in the restroom at our church. And a young father, he was probably in his mid to late 20s, first baby. And he went, and it was a boy.
Okay.
And he went to go to the restroom to change his son, and there was no changing table. And he came back to me and he said, they all call me Mom, so he came back and he said, Mom, there's no changing table in the men's bathroom, and I need to be able to change my son. And in my head, it was like, you need to be able to change your son. Wow.
Wow, yeah.
And it caused us to rethink that whole dynamic, because when you start talking about younger generations or newer generations, men want to be able to take care of their children in that way. And so I think it's important. And what they're saying is, particularly in Florida, you're going to start seeing more changing tables in public restrooms and restaurant restrooms, things like that, so that men have the ability to be able to do that.
I think it's great, partially because I like seeing, something that bothers me as well, seeing how Mother's Day is so honored and Father's Day is so forgotten.
Right.
People don't even know Father's Day is third Sundays of every year in June.
In June.
Every
right,
Sunday,
right.
every year. But everybody knows second Sunday in May is Mother's Day.
Right.
And I think that sometimes fathers produce and respond as they do because there's already been this baseline of understanding that they're just not going to be there.
Right.
But I see that there's a lot of guys that are definitely starting to step up. And we understand we have some that aren't. But there are so many individuals and so many fathers. I know some of my constituents.
Can I say I'm sorry?
Sure. I appreciate it.
No, I'm serious because my husband, a lot of times he will start saying at church, mothers are so celebrated and Father's Day. That hurts my heart. And it really does. I don't know what we can do to correct that. And so we can talk about that a little bit. But I want to say I'm sorry. And I want to say I'm sorry not just to you, not just to my husband, but to men in general. Because I think that particularly a man that is a great father, I feel like they deserve to be celebrated.
They should be celebrated.
And like you said, not just on Father's Day, but definitely on Father's Day, because we don't celebrate you the rest of the year and then act like Father's Day doesn't exist.
Right.
And so I think as women, we have to take the reins of that and do a much better job with celebrating the men that are great fathers among us and helping our children to understand that you need to show appreciation, that you need to show love, because not every child has a great father in their life. So thank you. Thank you so much for being such a great dad, as my husband is. He's an amazing father. Now, one more thing, because there was another article. Some company stepped up and said that they wanted to give $5,000 to some young father that wanted the ability to be able to, I guess, stay at home with their baby after the baby was born. What do you think about that idea?
I think it's great for fathers to stay home, especially when you're looking at the dynamics of maybe the wife is the breadwinner. I think that, and I'm very comfortable with that.
Right,
If my wife makes more than me, yes, Lord.
Right.
And so I have no problem with that. And so I think that the way we're seeing society shift is as we're seeing the dynamics of each household shift. And so if that is the case, I think it's a great thing. It doesn't mean
I think it would be
any
great
less.
for a young father. You just had a new baby, even if it's just 2 or 3 weeks, to be able to be at home with having a new baby. Those first few weeks are amazing times of bonding. For you to be able to be, or a young man to be able to be at home with his newborn, to share in that bonding experience. So now the baby is not just super connected, if you will, to the mom, but also having that bond with the dad. I think that's an amazing thing, and I think that's the way it should be.
I think that's
because
great, too.
we want our children. I know I did. I wanted my kids to have a strong bond and a strong connection with their dad.
Yeah, my daughter's a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
And so she's a daddy's girl. My sons are I don't know. Derek is definitely a mama's boy. Braylon, I'm not sure what he is. He's just kind of
He's
in between.
Braylon.
He's Braylon. Yeah, he's Braylon. But Kayla's definitely a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
And it has developed because of the attention, the time that I give to her.
Right.
I changed my schedules so that we can definitely, I could take her to school every day. So it means that I have to take back on some of my meetings. And I understand this case that you're talking about, where the father now is being presented this opportunity. I think it's great for men to do it. I think the hurdle or the hindrance is just how society has painted it for years, where they try to say you look like you're lazy because you're catering to your family.
Wow.
You know, so we've been taught priest, provider, protector. You know, that's all the strong suits. But also nurturer is a great attribute that we can add to fathers. And it doesn't mean that you're any less priest, provider, or protector.
Right. And it's important. It is important that just as a child is connected to their mother, they're connected to their father. It's important that you have both in the lives of our children. So again, happy Father's Day to you.
Thank
and to
you.
all of the men that are watching this show, I hope you have an amazing Father's Day. And thank you again so much for tuning in to the Derek and Deborah Show. We want you to like this show and subscribe to our page so that you can stay connected to us.
Get connected to us. Look forward to seeing you again next Monday, 8 o'clock with the Derek and Deborah Show.